Winsor & Newton artist watercolors were the first moist watercolors introduced to the world back in 1832. So they've been doing it a long time and really know their stuff, which is important because they've staked their reputation on it. And there's a lot of colors in the range, 96 to be exact, a lot of them single pigment colors. Because with single pigment colors, you get brighter, cleaner mixes, and that's really important, particularly in watercolor. There's also uniform fine grinding of each pigment. Not all the pigments are the same, and you want uniform washes, so it's important to grind them properly. And they're also slightly resistant to re-wetting. That means I can put wash upon top of wash, glaze upon top of glaze, without getting overly muddy. And again, I want to keep my colors brilliant and clean, so that's really important. But the thing I want to talk to you about right now is tube colors as compared to pan colors. Now, they're both a professional grade of color. They both have pigment and gum arabic, which is the binder in them. However, there's some slightly different things to the formulation. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of water here, get some color down, and I'll put a little bit on my watercolor pad and take a little bit of this cadmium red. And you can see right away, just look how that color just starts to move. I can really cover a large area on there. It's easier to pick up a lot of color with the tubes. So a lot of artists will use them in the studio quite a bit, although you can certainly take them out into the field. But artists a lot of times let the colors dry. They put them all out and they figure, hey, I'll lay them all out, let them dry, come back and I can re-wet them, right? Well, yes and no. Can you re-wet them? Yeah, you can get them soluble again. However, what happens is it's much harder to do that. And when you take a fine hair brush like this sable, I'm using the artist watercolor sable, when I do that, and I introduce friction to it, and it becomes hard on the brush and can mess that up, and you want your brushes to be able to last a long time. So it's important not to do that. Also, one of the things that can happen is when you're introducing water into this, there's not the same amount of preservatives in the tube colors as you will find in the pan colors. So when you put water in there, you can be introducing mold into the mix, and you want to obviously avoid that as well. And when you get to the tube colors, or rather the pan colors here, I'm going to take the Series 7 brush now. It's top of the line brush. It's Kolinsky Sable. One of the beautiful things about sable is that they hold their shape really nicely, and this in particular comes to this knife-like point. Really nice. I'm going to take some water here, and I'll come into a cerulean blue here that I have in my pan color. Now, this is my own personal kit. I love this thing because it fits in a pocket easily in a jacket. I take it on flights with me, and I think people think that's kind of nutty sometimes. They'll see me with the tray down on the back of the seat, and I'm there knocking out some watercolors during a long flight. But obviously, that's a nice thing that I can do. And watch this with the Series 7. I can get a nice broad wash, but I can also get really a fine, fine line with that. Really quite nice. And there's more preservatives in this mix, so I can keep introducing water and almost re-wet them indefinitely. And you're going to have a brighter color because when you do try to re-wet the tube colors, they tend to get duller over time. And they get what you call friable. That's dried and crumbly. So you can have undissolved bits in there, and you don't want that in your mix too. You want nice, again, uniform washes. So very important to observe those things and pay attention to the differences there. You can get out in the field with your tube colors, certainly, but be careful about letting them dry. Pan colors are a really nice way to not worry about the re-wetting, and you got a lot of convenience with that as well.